of 10 years after the occasions of the main film. The film starts with Jake Tarnish portraying his humble and tranquil life as head of the Omaticaya Group and raising a family with his significant other Neytiri, which incorporates his children. Neteyam and Loic and his girl Tuk, his embraced girl Kiri, brought into the world from effortlessness Augustine's out-cold Navi symbol, and a human kid named Bug, the child of Miles Quaritch who was brought into the world on Pandora yet couldn't be shipped to Earth in cryostasis as a baby. While Jake can acknowledge Bug as an embraced child, Neytiri is skeptical of him given his human starting points. Notwithstanding, every one of the youngsters blend and mingle well with one another, including shipped to Earth in cryostasis as a baby. While Jake can acknowledge Bug as an embraced child, Neytiri is skeptical of him given his human starting points. Notwithstanding, every one of the youngsters blend and mingle well with one another, including unfortunately, they understand it's a RDA space transport with people getting back to Pandora to colonize it, raising another vitally working base once more, making critical obliteration Pandora. Among the fresh debuts in the boat is Colonel Quaritch, who has been cloned into a Navi body and with his recollections transferred from before his demise. Subsequently, Quaritch can't recall his death because of Jake yet is simply ready to remember the occasions before in his vindictive mission to dispose of Jake. To keep the RDA from taking advantage of Pandora once more, Jake drives an essential guerrilla activity against the RDA supply lines, debilitating them. In one of the tasks, Loic, who defies Neteyam and is anxious to show what him can do as a Navi champion, attempts to help Jake in fight yet is injured. Jake saves and trains him to not imperil his own well-being by being wild. That evening, while at the same time watching out for his injuries, Nethri tranquilly reminds Jake to be not excessively unforgiving with Loic, to which Jake communicates his anxiety as a dad for the security of his youngsters. In the meantime, the retaliatory strike on the RDA supply lines doesn't agree with Quaritch, who starts a hunt mission to kill Jake. During an energetic endeavor, Jake's kids alongside Insect investigate further into the rainforest. Unbeknownst to them, Quaritch and his group are in the area investigating the site where Quaritch finds his human remaining parts. An attentive Loic sees their presence and rapidly illuminates Jake. An encounter follows and Quaritch's crew catches Jake's kids. Jake and Neytiri show up in time and free the majority of them, yet Bug is taken by Quaritch, who remembers him as his child. On board the boat, the RDA attempts to pressure data about Jake from Bug, whom declines. Evolving procedure, Quaritch tends to Bug as his child and furthermore to make sense of more about the Navi in return for his opportunity on his side. In spite of the fact that unagreeable and uninformed about Quaritch's genuine mission, Bug shows Quaritch Navi culture. Quaritch is likewise effectively ready to tame an Ikran flying animal as his vehicle. Realizing the risk, Bug's information on his whereabouts postures to their well-being and furthermore to stay away from another disaster, Jake persuades a hesitant Nethri and his family to expel themselves from the Omaticaya Group and retreat toward the eastern seaboard of Metcaina, a coral reef island whose tribe and way of life is adjusted to Pandora's oceanic environment. Jake gives his main mantle to his replacement and passes on altogether to Metcaina. Once showed up, they are welcomed by the group boss Tonawari and his better half Ronal, who is dicey of them at first. In any case, Jake makes sense of their circumstance and they are consented to remain and given cover. Despite the fact that a few tribesmen disparage Jake and his kids for their hereditary human legacy, the family learns the methods of the reef individuals, gaining the appreciation of them. Kiri is entranced with the oceanic existence of Metcaina and fosters an otherworldly bond with the ocean and its animals, while Loic gets to know Soraya, the little girl of faction boss Tonawari and his better half Ronal. While adjusting to their new climate, Loic gets into a battle with Soraya's sibling Aoning when he pokes a rough fun at Kiri and him of their blended human genealogy. Jake advises his child for his way of behaving. At Jake's demand, Loic gets back to apologize to Aoning and his companions. In any case, they captivate him to an excursion into the region of a risky ocean hunter, the Akula, and leave him abandoned in vengeance. The Akula attempts to go after Loic. Notwithstanding, Loic is saved by and gets to know Payakan, a Tulkun, a smart and pacifistic cetacean species, whom the Metcaina think about their profound family. Loic can speak with Payakan through marking and eliminates an old spearhead from the monster's right balance. Upon his revisitation of Metcaina, boss Tonawari, who became mindful of Aonung's deceiving of Loic, requests that the previous apologize to Loic. Nonetheless, Loic assumes the fault himself, winning Aonung's kinship. He is likewise informed that Payakan is an untouchable among his species. In the meantime, out traveling to a branch off of the Tree of Spirits, Kiri joins with it to meet her mom, however experiences a rough seizure. She is mended by Ronald, yet when Jake calls Norm Spellman and Max Patel for help, Quaritch can follow them to the archipelago where the reef individuals reside. Carrying Bug with him, he seized a whaling vessel which is hunting Tulkans to gather their mind catalysts for making hostile to maturing cures. Quaritch starts to mercilessly scrutinize the native clans about Jake's area, bombing that. He arranges the whaling team to wantonly kill the Tulkans to draw Jake out. Loic intellectually connects with Payakan and discovers that the Tulkun was projected out in light of the fact that he conflicted with the methods of his species and went after the whalers who killed his mom. At the point when the Metkayina learn of the Tulkun butchers, Loic takes off to caution Payakan, trailed by his kin, Soraya and Aoning. They find Payakan being pursued by the whalers, and Loic, Kiri and Tuck are caught by Quaritch. With their youngsters at serious risk, Jake, Neytiri and the Metkayina set off to face the people. Quaritch powers Jake to give up, however seeing his spirit sibling risked, Payakan assaults the whalers, setting off a battle which kills the vast majority of the group and basically harms the vessel, making it sink. Netayam salvages Loic and Insect, however is lethally shot. Jake faces Quaritch, who involves Kiri as a prisoner. At the point when Neytiri does likewise with Insect, Quaritch at first denies his child, yet stops when Neytiri cuts Bug on the chest. Jake, Quaritch, Neytiri and Tuck end up caught inside the sinking vessel. Jake chokes Quaritch into obviousness and is safeguarded by Loic and Payakan. And Kiri brings ocean animals to help her save Neytiri and Tuck. Insect finds and saves Quaritch, however passes on him because of his brutality towards the Na'vi and putting his objective to kill Jake's family over being his dad and turning into a decent man, driving him back to rejoin Jake's loved ones. After Netayam's memorial service, Jake and his family choose to forever remain with the Metkayina.